I want to talk about something that's very important, which is your mindset. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you mindset's important. You need to have the right mindset. You need to have the mindset to endure a lot. But I want to actually go ahead and dive a little deeper into why you need to focus on your mindset and why success is actually 90% mindset and 10% skill. So if you doubt me, I'm going to go ahead and prove to you in this video right now that if your mindset is wrong, then your business is probably having terrible results. Okay, so go ahead and talk about it. So first, let's prove the importance of the mindset. Have you ever been so engaged in a sport, right? For all my sport players, for those of you who played soccer, you played football, or you played, some sort of sport, right? Have you ever been so engaged in a sport and the game was so intense that at the end of the game, you noticed that you're hurt, right? You played the game, you're out there, you're running, dodging, dribbling, and then you come towards the end of the game, and now it's the end of the game, and then you notice, like there's a bruise, or you have a cut on your arm, or something to that regard. But for some reason, you don't know where you got hurt, or you know it happened during the game. Okay, you don't know where it happened, but you know that it happened during the game. Now, here's another example. Let's say you were playing video games, right? Let's say you're playing video games, and you were so engaged in the game that you forgot to eat. All right, you forgot to eat. You didn't pay attention that you were, hungry. You were starving. You forgot to eat. But then, at the end of the game, you notice that now you're hungry. So it took you towards the end of the game for you to actually realize that you're actually hungry. I don't want to dive deep into psychology, but I do want to cover an important aspect of it. Okay, and I do want to cover the important aspect of it because if you neglect your psychology, if you neglect your mindset, then I am afraid that you're going to struggle in the business, and that's the reason why I make this video. Okay, so I want to talk about the probably a very weird system that no one ever talks about, which is the RAS, which is the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is a system that is responsible for showing us more of what we think about and, shutting down what we don't think about, right? That's why, for instance, when, people in relationships say, all men are cheaters or all this are dogs, all they see are the cheaters and they see the dogs, right? Because that's what you're focusing on, right? Now, here's an example of how the reticular activating system works, right? Let's say the car you drive. How often do you notice that exact same car on the road? Let's say you drive a Honda Accord, right? How often do you notice that exact same brand? Okay, well, let's say you're thinking about buying a car, right? You're thinking about buying a car, but for some reason, before you started looking into the car, you weren't seeing that car. But now all of a sudden, all you see is that exact same make and that exact same model. Think about it. Okay, why? Why all of a sudden you never noticed, a blue Kia Sorento, but all of a sudden now all you see around you is Kia Sorentos, right? That's because of the reticular activating system. Now, here's another example. There was a study that was done. I didn't do the study, but I don't know who did the study. And they observed as both parents in this study slept through a loud plane taking off. So there's a plane taking off, the parents were sleeping. It's kind of creepy to me if you ask me that somebody's actually in your room watching you, but the parents were sleeping and they actually noticed and they saw that the parents slept through the takeoff. But for some reason, the mother woke up. Now take a guess why the mother woke up. The mother woke up at the slightest sound that the baby made. Okay, so which means they slept through a plane taking off, but the mother woke up at the slightest sound of a baby of the baby waking up. Now, why is this important? Okay, well, in business, you get more of what you focus on. If you go into business thinking everyone is a cutthroat, all you will see are cutthroats. If you think everybody's bad, all you will see are bad people, because that's the environment you're curating, and that's what your reticular activating system is focusing on. In some way, you are responsible for curating the experience that you have in business, just by the way you think, right? You get who you are, you get the way you think, right? If you think your partner is, a liar, all you're going to get and all you're going to see about them is basically lies, right? That is basically a summary of how that reticular activating system actually affects your life and affects your business, right? But curating your thinking isn't enough. Just curating your thinking and the way you think is not enough. Here are there's actually 4 key core mindset patterns that you need to have, especially when it comes to probably, the key area in business, which is decision making. When it comes to decision making, you need to have these core areas in your mindset on lockdown, okay? And what's the first one? You need to have indifference, okay? Listen, you cannot be attached to any business decision you make, okay? Because for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. for every positive that you get, there's also going to be a negative attached to it. And people who are so emotionally attached to their actions end up making poor decisions. Okay, that's why you need to have an indifferent attitude, right? Number two, you need to have the willingness to sacrifice. Here's the thing: is this? I'm going to give you a scenario, right? I'm going to take this. Okay, so I have this. I have my iPad in my hand, right? For me to hold a phone, okay, I have to actually remove this iPad, and then I have to take the phone, right? So which means you have to give up something to receive something else. And the willingness to sacrifice is just basically understanding. Come to terms with yourself. What do I have to give up? If you're drinking a lot, maybe you have to give up drinking. Maybe if you are out there, sleeping around, maybe you have to give that up. What are you willing to give up for your goals, your visions, and your dreams? You need to have that willingness to sacrifice, okay? Now, the next thing is, number three is the evidence, belief. Now, you ever heard the saying, everyone is like, oh, say that I am this, I am, millionaire, I am whatever it is. The reason why you're doing that is not necessarily you trying to attract things, it's you're trying to trick your mind into believing evidence, right? You're trying to say, you know what, I am a millionaire, right? So you can act like that. You need to actually kind of come to a belief, right? You need to actually start to think about things in the present, even if you're not actually realizing it yet. Just by you actually saying it to yourself, you're creating an element of false evidence. But here's the reality: is every lie will eventually become the truth. Okay? If you keep telling yourself that long enough, eventually you start to believe it, and eventually you start to act up on it. But you need to still keep taking action to solidify that evidence. Okay? Now the last one is gratitude. This is very important. It doesn't matter what happens. Most people have the mentality of work when it comes to work, right? Most people think about work as a burden, right? Most people think about work as stress. Like I'm making this video right now, 3 a.m. in the morning, and most people are like, man, you should be asleep. I actually enjoy doing this. I am grateful for the opportunity to actually get to make this video, and that's why I don't mind making a video 3 a.m. in the morning. Because for me, there's an element of gratitude. I am grateful because most people are not able to be up right now at 3 a.m. to make a video or to do whatever it is that they thought they were going to do. So in an element, you have to be grateful for where you are, because if you're not grateful for where you are, what you get to do, you have to understand there are people out there that don't get to experience the life that you experience. It doesn't matter if it's the good or the bad, find something to be grateful for. I know it sounds very naive, but in the gratitude is your motivation. In the gratitude is your inspiration. So that's another thing. So once you're able to curate your environment, maintain these 4 core thinking patterns, watch your business change. And that's pretty much all I got for you for this video as far as mindset goes. If you liked it, just do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And